Today, we're not just reading ancient history. We're decoding a forbidden truth that challenges everything you thought you knew about God and humanity. The scriptures speak of secret societies, divine councils, and unseen realms. But what if one man, an ordinary nomad, was granted access to heaven's inner circle? What if he possessed a title so powerful, yet so overlooked, that it holds the key to your destiny in 2026? Welcome to Understanding the Word. I am Pastor Najim. In Isaiah 41:8, the architect of the universe declares, "But you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the offspring of Abraham, my friend." My friend. This isn't just a term of endearment. It's a covenantal code that unravels the deepest mysteries of the kingdom. Why Abraham? Why him alone? In a world spiraling with conspiracy theories, digital deceptions, and prophecies unfolding daily, understanding this friendship with God isn't just an option. It's a survival guide. Today, we unlock the hidden language, the secret protocols, and the very blueprint for entering God's sod, His confidential counsel, and discover how Abraham's ancient journey is your map for navigating the chaos of 2026. To really get this, let's turn to the Hebrew roots in the Tanakh. When God names Abraham my friend, He uses Ohev, a word that's alive, always moving, from the root Ahava for love. Our word friend today feels easy. Think of all those online buddies you've never met. But Ohev means the one who keeps loving me day in and day out. It's not a one-time badge, it's a living commitment. Abraham had his share of slip-ups, sure, but his heart never turned away. In Hebrew eyes, love is action, doing what aligns with God's will. Scholars see Ohev as a true partnership where Abraham joins God in the big story of saving the world. Like James 2:23 says, Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness, and he was called a friend of God. That belief, Emunah, is about sticking with it, even in the storms. So in our fast-paced world of shallow ties, what if you stepped up as God's Ohev, choosing to show that love every day, no matter how you feel? It all kicked off with a bold call in Genesis 12:1, Lech Lecha. Bibles often say go forth, but it's deeper, go for yourself or go to your true self. God was saying, leave your land, your family, your old ways, and head to what I'll show you. Back then in Mesopotamia, gods were like business deals, worship this, get that. Abraham's call broke the mold, full loyalty to one God. For us in 2026, with tech shaping our minds and pressures from all sides, this means pulling back from the noise. Jesus said it in John 15:19, you don't belong to the world. Friendship starts when God's whisper matters more than the crowd's roar. Abraham didn't nail it perfectly. Doubts crept in. Separation isn't hiding away. It's realigning your life, leaving the safe spots for the adventure ahead with the one who knows you best. What old house are you holding onto? Habits, worries, things that pull you down. What if leaving them opened the door to something real? This bond didn't happen overnight. It built over years of waits, wrongs, and comebacks. 25 years for Isaac's promise. Trips to Egypt where fear led to lies about Sarah, Genesis 12:10-20. The Hagar mess in Genesis 16, rushing ahead and causing hurt. But God's grace shines. He doesn't quit on you for messes. He welcomes you back. Abraham always returned to the Mizbeach, the altar, keeping the talk going. Friendship is that, real chats through thick and thin. Amos 3:3 asks, how can two walk together without agreeing? Abraham's Emunah was action, building trust step by step. Hebrews 11:8-10 praises it. He obeyed, chasing a promise he couldn't see, living like a traveler. That hits home now with changes everywhere. Trust grows in the tough spots. And remember, God shares strength with servants, but His secrets, those are for friends. There's this beautiful truth in God's kingdom. He shares His might with those who serve Him, but His hidden thoughts, those are for friends. Amos 3:7 puts it clearly, surely the Lord God does nothing without revealing His secret to His servants the prophets. With Abraham, though, it went even further, straight to the heart. In Genesis 18, as God heads toward judging Sodom and Gomorrah, He stops. He turns to Abraham and wonders aloud, shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? The Hebrew word here is sod. It means a private gathering, a whisper shared in confidence. Abraham had walked faithfully for so long that he wasn't just watching God's plans unfold. He was part of the conversation. Drawing from Hebrew studies, Sod is about shared vulnerability. God opens up his intentions and Abraham responds. And as 2 Chronicles 20:7 reminds us, Abraham is called your friend forever. In our time, flooded with data and noise, getting close to God means diving into his word, uncovering those layers. It's not about secret codes. It's about a relationship that changes you, making you a partner in what he's doing. So how did Abraham reach this level of trust? It started at his tent door. Genesis 18 begins with him sitting there in the hottest part of the day. He spots 3 men nearby. Without a second thought, he runs to them, washes their feet, bakes fresh bread, prepares a young calf, gives them his very best. This is Hatchnesat Orkim, the practice of welcoming strangers. In ancient Hebrew life, it was more than good manners. It was a way to invite God's presence into your world. Abraham didn't realize at first that one of them was the Lord himself. He just knew if you're close to God, you treat people with that same openness. As Jesus says in Matthew 25:40, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. In those nomadic times, offering shelter could save a life. For Abraham, it was an act of faith. God showed up at his table long before calling him to the mountaintop. Here's the takeaway for us in 2026, where life feels so disconnected: virtual chats, food delivered to the door. Try this hospitality. Open your space to others. It might just open the door to hearing from God in ways you never expected. Then comes the real talk. God shares the plan for Sodom, and Abraham doesn't hold back, he steps in. Will you really sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 good people, or 45, down to 10? This bold back and forth appeals straight to who God is, Tzedek, full of justice, and Hesed, overflowing with mercy. A servant might just bow and accept. But a friend speaks up, drawing from the king's own nature. Abraham's growth shows here. Earlier silences give way to this courage. Yet he knows when to stop, trusting God's wisdom. For churches in America today, where we sometimes stay too quiet on big issues, let's rediscover this. Interceding isn't arguing against God. It's joining him in mercy. Like Moses did in Exodus 32. You have that access because of your friendship. Stand there. Now Abraham has it all: the promised child, riches, God's confidence. But friendship with God isn't a finish line. It's a path that keeps going deeper. The warmth of that tent hospitality is about to face the heat of full surrender. God knew Abraham's loyalty inside out, but he wanted the world to see it too. As we head up Mount Moriah, keep this in mind. Real friendship shines brightest in the fires of sacrifice, where faith becomes undeniable. After the joy of Isaac's birth, the story turns heavy in Genesis 22. God calls again, but this time the words cut deep. Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. Offer him there as a burnt offering. God even names the love Ahava. And here's something striking. This is the first time love appears in the whole Bible. Not in a romance, but in this bond between father and son on the road to sacrifice. Theologians call this the ekta, the binding. It's testing the heart. Do you hold the gift tighter than the one who gave it? It echoes back to Eden, that choice between trust and doubt, when God's ask seems to clash with his promise. This moment is one of a kind, not something to repeat. It points ahead to what God himself would do, giving his son, as John 3:16 tells us. Through Abraham's pain, we glimpse God's heart. Not demanding without purpose, but building a story of unbreakable trust. God calls out Abraham, and he answers with one word: Hineni. We say here "I am" in English, but it carries so much more. It's not about where you stand, it's your whole state of being. I'm right here, fully in this, ready to follow without holding back. No questions, no reminders of past promises. He gets up early and starts the 3-day journey. In his heart those days, Isaac was already gone. This is the friendship that walks the way of the cross. It foreshadows the father's silence during those 3 days of the tomb. Abraham's obedience wasn't robotic. It grew from all those years of promises kept. But the human side, the grief, must have been overwhelming. Friendship like this means pressing on through the quiet times when God feels far but you cling to what he said. In 2026, when loss hits or doubts creep in, try whispering Hineni. It opens the way for God to move. As they climb, Isaac asks the question that had to hurt. Where is the lamb? Abraham's reply is pure faith. God will provide. Elohim Yair. He wasn't dodging, he was speaking truth ahead of time. At the peak with the knife lifted, the angel calls out, "Stop. Now I know you fear God," and the reward, a new name for God, Jehovah Jireh. It means the Lord sees or provides, opening eyes to the bigger story. Jesus himself says in John 8:56, "Abraham rejoiced to see my day. He saw it and was glad." That's the gift of friendship, seeing what others miss. That day God makes a vow by his own name. "Because you've done this, I'll bless you. Your descendants will be like the stars." Picture the night sky over America, endless, bright. God was telling his friend, your story doesn't end with you. When you're God's friend, what you build lasts. Your faith lights the way for those who come after. Here we are in 2026, facing a world that's spinning fast, questions about AI, changes in the climate, divisions pulling people apart. Abraham's life calls out to us louder than ever. He didn't have a full Bible to read, no community of believers around him, just that voice he followed. In times like these, when everything feels unsteady, being able to hear God and dig into his original word, that's your strongest ground. America doesn't need more facts piled up. It needs people who have sat in that sod, God's inner circle. When you live as his friend, you carry a peace nothing can touch, a light that pushes back the dark. Maybe right now, you feel more like a far-off servant than a close companion. That call to lecha, to step away from the old patterns, it might seem overwhelming. But remember the root, Ahava. It all starts with how God loves you first. He picked you before you ever reached out. This friendship is open to everyone listening today. It begins with a simple Hineni, "Here I am, Lord. I'm done with the distractions. I want to know your word. I want to follow your path." When you say that, you're not signing up for rules. You're stepping into a promise etched in the stars, sealed on that mountain. Try this. Once a week, take a lecha moment. Step back, reflect, pull away from the noise. Pray for others. Let it build. Father, thank you for every person here today. I ask that Abraham's spirit, that faithfulness, that deep friendship would come alive in them. Open our hearts to the rich layers of your word in Hebrew. Help us become Ohev, showing your love in real ways every day. As we look ahead, give us the steady confidence of those who know you as King and friend. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Lift up his countenance upon you and give you his shalom, his perfect peace.